Good. Okay. It's now 3:02. We're going to call the meeting to order. Have we had a chance to look over the set agenda? Do we have a motion to approve?
Motion.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next on the agenda is the consideration of the October 9th minutes. Have we had a chance to read through that?
Yep. I move to approve.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, on to the financial report. Since Steve is not here, we'll ask Kate to give that for us.
Okay, your October budget shows that you brought in revenues of $35,953. You had expenses of $24,431. So you're still running ahead, and you're running ahead of your projections as well. You will see, and thank you very much to Cindy, we have interest on investment of $269. So we are actually collecting between $200 and $300 a month on those
Cindy.
investments. And
Like Cindy said, it was going to pay for an ad, so.
yeah,
That's
you
awesome.
said-
We
Thank
talked
you.
about it at the last meeting too.
yeah, you were not here, but you got kudos. We will give you kudos every meeting for that, because
I'll just stay gone.
I mean, it really is adding up here. So we're doing very, very well. You'll see at the bottom of the page, your bank balances. We do have 94,000 in BB&T, which is operating, and then Highlands Union has 87,758. That is your capital, and then you've got your capital trust with 62,516, and your non-capital, which is basically marketing and operating, of 100,528. Now, if you're looking at any big ticket items down the road, say you want to put 50,000 aside for paving or whatever you want to do, you can sock it away in that capital line and just let it earn interest. So on to the occupancy tax, we have the two sheets. The one is the tax received report, which shows $35,049 received, which is a 46% increase over the previous year. And then the second page is the gross receipts, and you've got $416,218. Wait, $416,218. Wait a minute. Yeah. So you're doing well. You're ahead on all aspects. You're doing very well for the year so far. So then going on to your invoices.
Kate,
Yes.
I'm sorry. So we got for September 416, but last year we were at 486.
Mhm.
So that's a pretty big dip. What, do we know what that's attributed to, or?
We do not. We
Okay.
do not. So the total that we've actually collected is greater, but we do not know. And we'll, I think when we get down to the discussion on occupancy tax reporting, we kind of need to make some decisions.
So our revenue is down, but our tax revenue?
Our tax revenue is up, and I actually questioned that. I said that I would expect to see 580 to 590,000 in gross receipts to equal the 6%, but that's the number that we've got.
Were there
Oh,
monies
man, like that,
collected
man.
last year that had maybe been in arrears or something that people paid up?
Well, it would still, you'd still, off of that reporting form, you report line 1, which is your gross receipts. And so,
Should be included.
should be included. So, yeah, it is a puzzle right now.
Because that's a $70,000 drop.
Mhm.
And the month before that, we were 100 up.
Yeah.
So that's,
And you'll never get
Could
it
it be
to
like a
come to
timing
exactly
issue?
6%. Both the tax received and the gross receipts come off of the same form. Comes off of the same
Maybe at
form.
December's meeting, we could look into it and have a clear answer.
Yeah, yeah. And I asked Rebecca if she could be in here today, but she can't because she's by herself.
Gotcha.
So, yeah, I think that she is pretty consistently overwhelmed with the amount of work she has to do. So I feel like, because Steve and I went back, when I found there was a discrepancy in this last number, I went to Steve and Rebecca, and Steve and I went back and looked at what he had as his total actual receipts that were deposited in the bank on our behalf, and then what we had as tax receipt. So those matched up. But he doesn't have to go back and look at the gross receipts number. So there's not any checks and balances on that number.
So we don't know if that last year's number's correct.
We don't know. We don't know. So, and there's not a way,
Are the documents that are
Yeah.
turned in accessible to research?
they could be accessible to research, yeah. Yeah, they could be. It will take people just going back through all those old files and adding up the totals on that.
I mean, me sitting up here now, I feel wheezy about all these numbers I'm looking at for the past few months, as far as,
The
accuracy.
numbers that are actually reported as received are good, but I don't know that the numbers reported as gross are good.
And where do we get these numbers?
We get these numbers from the tax administrator.
And these are two separate reports that are generated?
They are two separate reports. And they are actually generated from a spreadsheet that she fills in, that she, every day when collections come in, she's supposed to put the information in that spreadsheet, and then she totals it at the end.
So do we have a list, because I remember like in the olden days, when I was helping out at the office, there was like some kind of list, and when the people actually sent in their stuff, there was a check that they actually paid. Do we do anything like that?
I was doing that.
You were doing
I
that?
was, yes, I was keeping a spreadsheet on who actually paid. Back in the, back before we got STR Helper, I kept a spreadsheet because I wanted to make sure that people had actually turned in their money. Because there's no way, without something like that, you don't know who hasn't turned in money yet. So she started making me a list every month, and just as people came in, she'd just type it on a little Word document, who paid. And at the end of the month, she'd give me that. And it wasn't in alphabetical order, but mine was. And I would just go through and I put a little check mark
Yeah.
by everybody, because that was the only way that I could be sure. And that was the way that back in those days when somebody hadn't paid for a while, that's how we knew, like Archer's Inn didn't pay. That's when we had those moments.
So in these days, how do we know when people aren't
Some of
paid?
that too, Airbnb and VRBO just sends a lump sum check. They don't break it down, so you'll never be able to say exactly. The only way you keep it up individually is if people pay it individually. So some of this
Yeah,
stuff,
but you would.
$70,000 worth?
oh, I don't know, I had to go back.
Yeah,
and
see,
file
those
and
will
all
be
that.
the individual homeowners.
Individual owners pay,
Yeah.
but if it comes to a source, they don't break down the individual payment.
Yeah, and sometimes they do. Sometimes,
sometimes
if
they
you
do.
turn it over and look on the back of the check, sometimes they have done it, and sometimes they don't, and they do not have that as a policy. So that is a good point. It's still gonna be an issue on individual houses.
Just in case you think, if at some point we can get some kind of list again, it's never gonna be 100% of everybody because of people using those services.
But what you can do is when you have seen like 2 or 3 months of somebody's not being marked as being paid, you can go to them and say, we don't have a record of your payment going in. Then they say, oh, but I pay through Airbnb. Well, Airbnb is not forced to tell us that they paid it for this person, but the person can tell Airbnb they need a record to show us.
do we have a list of those?
Well, in the same way that
We,
the town could call me and say, okay, Calder, we want to audit these 2 months of the collections in yours. Can we not go to an individual, even though they're going through Airbnb, and ask to do the same thing?
well, yeah, but you normally you won't have to.
I talked to Rebecca the other day, I don't think we've ever audited anybody up here, and really as a matter of course, we need to take how many we think we have, and we should audit somebody, probably 3 to 5 people every year.
How
you know.
Great, I'll be
Just
But we've never
random.
done, we've never done that.
Yeah, it's true.
Just a
I've
random
never been
sample.
asked to do an audit, but I think the language is there that
we
No, we
can.
can, because there's an issue came up with somebody who hadn't paid, and, you know, we had never audited anybody, and like, yes, we probably need to start, as a matter of course, doing that.
It's
Yeah,
just
I
if
think-
you look at the numbers for the last 2 years, almost in every case, we've gone up. Maybe there's a couple thousand off, but in 1 month, a $70,000 discrepancy doesn't happen anywhere else, so.
Yeah.
I got a feeling this errors made between years, but I will be honest, we're kind of in between, we have an error finance officer now, so I don't know if we can take this on as a project right away, but we will.
Yeah, there is definitely a manpower issue here.
Can you, so the STR helper, and I was just sitting in the audience when this was all approved and brought in and all that kind of stuff, and it was supposed to help us increase our collections, right?
Which it has, I'm pretty sure.
Well, it actually hasn't.
Okay.
What happened was when they got the information from our tax administration, from Rebecca, who all is paying into occupancy tax now, and they scoured the internet, and then they told us who the in-between people were. But we do not go in there and follow up with who these people are, and we don't.
So they're flagging people that are
They're
not
flagging
paying
people.
us, and we're not doing anything with the people that they're flagging.
We
Then
don't-
why do we have the program?
We have the program for what it could do. At this point, we're not actually using it for all that it can do.
I disagree with Kate on that, maybe we need to come communicate a little bit better, but I understood that we were taking that list and sending out letters to these people, so I don't know why that had happened.
I thought it was almost like a scare tactic, and I thought it was one.
Well, we did send out letters, but we didn't send out letters to those people.
We sent out letters generally.
To
everyone.
everybody, 'cause we got one.
Too, so, yeah, I have checked with Rebecca and Kate, I'm not sure why that had happened.
Alright,
Yeah.
well, regardless,
Yeah, it is something that we have the capability of.
How much is this program?
It is $15,000 a year,
15.
15.
And that letter that goes after us in, I think it's November and May,
Yeah,
asking us to give an updated list of the properties we represent.
mhm.
I'm assuming that also goes to an individual homeowner.
Yeah.
We have
The
And they
tax
have to sign
office
it
does
there.
send a letter.
and they have to sign it, they're certifying that, right?
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah.
Do we have a statement in there that they're certifying that the occupancy tax is collected?
I don't, see, these are tax department questions, and I
well,
don't know.
maybe we're not really getting much progress on this.
Yeah,
Let's
we-
maybe revisit it in December, Kate and Tim, maybe we can just figure out where
This
it's
is the
missing
month
puzzle.
that letter goes out. Isn't it?
We usually send one out in the spring, there's one on the bulletin board in there, I sent one, seemed like we sent out letters in the spring last time.
It's normally twice a year.
Twice a year.
Spring
It
and
used
fall.
to be November and May,
Or April or
but
something.
if this, if we are sending them out this
It is
month,
May. I have.
Okay.
I don't know.
Do we know of any one of our larger lodging people or anything? I mean, 70,000 is still
We do
sticking
know.
in my,
We have one that,
He hasn't paid for it.
when we were looking at the discrepancy last week, or week before, geez, the weeks are running together. We were looking at the discrepancy, I said, could you please verify that all the big people have paid? So the tax office went back to look and saw that one very big person has not paid since January.
I think that
okay.
estimate on that is around $10,000, though, that's not $7,000.
That's his estimate, that can't possibly be true.
Well, the year before it was 7,800, and so he said he claimed this year is 10,000.
Well,
But you'd have to.
would my other one, well, I can't say that.
Well, I don't feel
Yes,
good
it
about
is.
that, and I don't feel good about now $60,000 we can't income.
Yeah,
But it wouldn't have
Both
been 60 in
things.
September, that would have been spread over.
yeah.
How
it
many
would
Months
be
and
months?
months,
spread
it
over.
would have
Okay.
been one big hit like that. Obviously, something has been transposed or
misinputted or something.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd like to revisit it in December.
Yeah. It's a
Okay.
one-time
Some more
aberration.
information.
Let's hope it's
Well,
not.
what do we do in the meantime?
Well, there is actually an STR helper meeting, and Sandy was gonna sit in on that too.
Yep.
And it is on the 20th from 3 to 4.
Is that a contract we're on, or is it year to year, or
2-year contract.
2-year contract?
Yeah,
What year, are we on year 2 or 1?
we're on year 2,
Year 2.
yeah. And we've already paid, haven't we, Tim? Both halves of us have paid.
And we don't believe that 30,000 has generated
Well, actually, it's 15, it's not 30, it's.
15
Well, but
years.
He was saying 2
Between 2
years.
years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think the first year generated over 40,
I don't think it did. I do not think it did.
I'd like to
I was
know, just
getting
'cause-
reports from her in the first few months, and then she stopped having any new
Well, it's hard.
collection.
It's not a direct correlation between what they do and that type of thing. When we originally talked about doing it, we were gonna do it for 2 years, then probably drop it, maybe wait 3 years and do another 2 years.
That's what I thought the original plan was.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's kind of where we're at now.
Yeah.
But I do believe that would be more benefit, whether it's a direct corollary or not, I don't think.
So the meeting we're going to, they're trying to pitch us to sign up for another year.
No, they're trying to, well, in this last meeting, they said, they asked Rebecca how she was doing with it and what functionalities she found were good, and she said, I don't use it, I don't go in there, I don't know. And so, we're gonna have a meeting this next Wednesday to
Okay.
kind of go through.
When does the contract end?
Is it June 30?
I think so.
Yeah, I
have to-
think it's June 30, yeah.
Probably
So she
just
really
for-
has not been able to use it. I will throw this out though. Considering, I mean, she really has got a lot on her plate. And considering we have basically a one-person tax and utility office,
Is it a training issue that she doesn't understand it, or just over?
I think it's a time issue. I think
Okay.
it's just flat out time. I mean, what do you think, Tim?
Well, I mean, I think it's something that probably be done, you just have to work it in and that type of thing. I know last year we had a pay system, it all took some extra time, but took away, so it's a matter of prioritizing. You know, we're looking at things right now, we have some busy work going on in different places, like positive pay and everything, we're dropping that, so we're looking to trim some things that are not necessary.
So this might be something that,
Well, they did tell us that they do have the capability of actually collecting it for us, tracking who has paid and hasn't paid every month, and sending out the collection letters themselves.
and how much more is that?
We don't know. We can find that out on
Okay.
Wednesday. But, you know, considering what we've got here, I would not think that was a bad idea. Well, depending on the dollar amount. Anyway, we do pay the town to collect taxes for us. So,
All right, so December we'll find out about the STR helper, if it's actually paid for itself or not. Let's at least identify that. And
yeah.
And we need to make sure that we're using it as the most we can the last 6 months.
I mean,
Yeah.
We still have.
Yeah, we still have time to make
most
up.
of it while we have
Yeah,
it.
I just can't fathom wasting that kind
I
of
would
money.
say that,
So,
it's kind of unique, we were looking at 2 different companies that do this, STR Help and Host Compliance, and Host Compliance has now bought out STR Help.
And now both of them have been bought out by Guernica. So that's got a whole new level of
Involvement.
involvement.
And price.
Yeah.
so now moving on to the invoices paid for October.
Okay, our invoices paid in October are, we really didn't pay out a whole lot of invoices in October. We did pay out several things though that
Is that what that 7,500 is? STR helper compliance?
STR helper, yeah.
So that's like a half a year?
It's what we do is split with town, and the town pays 75 and we pay 75.
So,
So-
okay, so that's our portion for
Yeah.
the year.
So, and then Value Print, that is actually one of your grants. That is where we put the ad in the magazine for
Oh,
real
for
estate magazine.
Brooks?
Yeah. The 365 Atlanta Traveler, we cut the check, but I'm not sure that it has gotten to them. There are some checks right now that we're trying to track down and see. So we have several invoices up at the top from Big Boom. The reason for that is that we're paying them in installments on that new website. So,
And do you have an update on that?
I think
yeah,
that's on the
Okay.
yeah.
old business. And same thing, I see the billboard, that's under old
Yeah.
business too.
Gotcha.
That domain renewal, I know it's only $15, but that's annual.
It is.
Yeah.
Cool.
And we now have a safe engineered billboard, is that correct?
No.
I think that was probably just.
So
that's probably
don't
just
go
a study.
climbing on it, okay?
It's for
no
$600.
more climbing
That's
on the
not-
billboard.
That's what, like an hour?
That was
probably?
just somebody
2
to
hours.
tell us it's not safe?
Yeah.
And draw it.
One suggestion, I don't know who does the TDA invoices, but maybe it'd be nice to have a total of everything combined.
Oh, okay, down at
That
the
might
bottom.
be just fun, helpful
Okay.
for future boards.
Yeah.
Do we have a motion to approve the financial report and the invoices?
Can we approve this financial report?
With
this
the
question we made?
exception, with the
Yeah, well, I guess
exception
with the
of
exception of the
the
$70,000.
occupancy
With
tax.
the exception of the information in the tax reports.
Correct.
Okay.
Thanks, Cindy.
So the
Second,
motion amended?
second the emotion.
So, yeah,
All right.
do we have a motion to approve what that, is that called an amendment or a notation?
With exception.
With the exception, okay.
yeah.
I'll motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second with you.
All in favor?
I,
Okay. And on the old business, the maps.
Okay, we actually.
that
had
was a fun meeting. You guys owe me on for that one.
Oopsie.
It was a good meeting, and, they are working right now, Sean and Preston are working right now, getting their graphics together, so that we can do the map that we're all looking for,
Yeah.
so.
And we're gonna have a proof before, obviously.
We're not gonna have a
Yeah.
Well, like, it'd
Yeah.
be neat to have it, if possible, like on the projector, so, or a copy each or something,
Okay,
so we could see.
yeah, we'll get everybody, I mean, we have limped along like this for a while,
Cool.
so we have time to make sure we get it right.
The next thing was the Holland billboards. The reason I wanted this on the agenda is I just want to stress to the rest of the board, I think it's pretty important, that we capture that billboard before like a private business does, just to protect the mountain in that aspect, so.
Has
Just,
that been researched yet?
Does anybody wanna know how much it's on the tax
I mean-
rolls for?
if,
Yeah.
17,500.
wait, what was it? I'm sorry.
17.5.
17.5,
It's tax value.
yeah, it's a tax value on it.
And what would, does anyone know what Mr. Holland or his family would like for it?
Do not know.
I bet it's at least 17.5.
yeah.
I would say. I would.
Yeah.
Someone needs to talk to him.
Do y'all want me to ask him the serious price? I mean, I'll be glad to.
I mean, I suggest we should
I
before
think so.
then somebody else puts something we don't like up there.
Yeah, well, I will, what I was gonna say to y'all about this, I talked to Kent over at IronCon. And, of course, a private businessman has talked to Kent several times. And Kent told me that he would direct me strongly to get at least 2 bids, whatever he tells us needs to be done on it. Because he would think that somebody interested in purchasing it would make a very high bid, and if that was the only bid we had, we'd be,
Sure.
you know,
Yeah.
so.
Well, my theory on this is if people were, not as much upset with the Christmas ball, could you just imagine a nice bright LED billboard as you're coming up the mountain?
It does not match, all that y'all have done in the past
So-
5 years this does not match that.
Yeah.
Better Out has 2 new ones and no, they don't
So I'm
match.
just saying that
Yeah.
Actually, on the billboard, you have to amend the zoning ordinance to make it additional billboard. Additional billboards are not allowed in town.
Well, that's outside.
It's
the
not
town.
outside.
That's out of town.
That's
Yeah.
outside the town limits.
That's why he.
That's
So
why I'm
see,
stressing
that's
so
why
hard.
this is such a critical thing, because we wouldn't be able to do anything
We-
about it.
One year we had a real estate office up here, that was probably 10 years ago, and they put up a LED flashing sign.
Do you know?
It was very obnoxious.
Yeah.
No,
It was-
figures.
Actually, it almost caused some heart attacks, as I recall.
Yes, Cindy. What? He just said a real estate office put up an LED flashing sign
Was it
and
in
caused
the
people heart attacks.
Well, then remember that
That's
small
what I wanna
billboard
find
that
out.
was down there on the
It's
curb.
falling apart now.
Yeah.
Cut
Part of the
down.
cost, at least it's much as high as we fixed it.
Yeah.
At least that, maybe we're
Yeah.
throw it out.
I mean, what, with that engineering cost, what was the purpose of, did they give us an estimate of?
Okay, I keep asking him for this report, and he told me that Patrick will have it to me by the end of next week.
Whoa.
I said, all right, I
That's
said,
a
I've been
firm
telling
date.
my board this for probably 6 months now.
So you paid for it, but we haven't got the report.
Well,
Kinda.
we may have paid for it, it might be in that batch of checks.
Yeah, the
that-
last batch.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
suggest throwing that on the next December's meeting. and-
yeah, yeah, we
Maybe-
really should know.
The Holland family has been wonderful to let us use this for
Absolutely.
no cost, and I mean, I know we
They
do
have, it
pay
has been a
the
great
tax.
help to us.
and compared to, if you all remember the old thing that was up there with the windmill, and that was just
it was bad.
horrible. And we had that for how many years? So,
Yeah.
the prudent thing is if they still want to keep it and we're not in the billboard business, you know, to just let it ride and let it slide. But at the same time, I understand we need to secure it, especially if, you know, we've overextended our goodwill with them. So,
Yeah,
Can't have a
it's,
question on
Well,
that.
we
It's
might
outside
could
the city
even do a
limits.
lease thing, just
Yeah.
to
The
buy
county,
some
if it
time.
falls down, the county will allow it to be put back, isn't that right?
right, that's probably, it's probably grandfathered in the
I
structure.
think if it was to fall down, you could not reconstruct.
Yeah.
you know.
And we don't want to get rid of it.
well,
I
it's
mean,
not
it's
gonna
fabulous.
fall, that's our problem.
It's got steel.
Yeah,
It fell down once
he
before.
actually told
Almost.
me
It looked kind of like,
the supports are very good.
but it's the right place. It's fabulous in terms of the traffic on the mountain. I wish it was angled a little differently to hit the traffic off the mountain, but c'est la
Yeah.
vie.
I wish it were smaller. In my perfect world, you could take a third of that away and still have.
Yeah, but then it'll look like a Stuckey's pecan roll billboard.
No,
At least it looks like a billboard, and you can put pretty pictures on
it's
it.
enormous.
I'd be so
It's enormous,
nostalgic.
though, and you can't see the rest of Beach Mountain behind it because of it, you know? I mean, I understand why the first person cut it down. They
That
wanted
far.
it smaller.
Yeah.
And I can understand that. I just think
Maybe
If and
when we
when
do
it's
the
done.
designs or the skins, maybe we put more border.
sky or something.
Yeah, make it a little
But
bit.
if
Just
you
put
come
all
up
that see-through so you see the back.
take a look at it when you come up the mountain one time and just consider it a little smaller. I mean, not this size, not Stuckey size, but something a little less.
I wouldn't have a
What do you
problem
think,
with
In
Jim,
your
would that meet
face.
code if we made it just big sheet of plastic and you could just?
I'm not even gonna talk about that one, that's a beer thirty conversation.
Okay, so do we need to make a motion for someone to
I'd like-
pursue Mr. Holland?
I have a fine relationship with him and Michael, so.
Well,
I
I'll take
would-
my fee.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think any of us could do it,
A
so.
lease or purchase? Well, let's all go in there. It's
You
corner.
don't want to act like you want it. I
we
mean,
do.
come on,
I
guys.
guess we'll buy it.
Yeah.
Sure we do.
No, another person is offering to buy it.
Mhm.
That's why I'm.
And I've already said to him, if he offers to buy it, wouldn't you rather sell it to us?
Mhm.
And he said, yes, I
Yeah.
would.
Yeah,
Okay, well, there you go.
He
You gotta
did
figure
say
it
that
out.
he is with us.
yeah. So we could like match an offer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, maybe that's the thing. See, we
We
could
can
write
write
a
a
first
first
right of
refusal.
refusal.
Yeah, that's
Something
what I
like
would
that.
be good with.
Oh, yeah, that's a great idea.
Well, who wants to delegate and go after Mr. Holland? I mean, I don't mind.
Approach them with a first right of refusal.
Okay, I'll go and talk to Mr. Holland on that.
Okay, I'm putting Jimmy down in ink, so.
Now, obviously, sometimes people have to pay to get the first right of refusal.
Well, it'd be nice to mention the figure of the tax value, just
Yeah.
as a basis to.
Well, we pay that now anyways, right?
We pay the property tax
Taxes
on
on
it,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So that you know,
Well, I mean, we don't pay
It's
Yeah.
like
$17.
90, I think
Tax and
$95
upkeep.
Yeah.
that we pay every year. It's not much.
Okay. Cool.
That's all it is, $95.
Mhm. Yeah. And it is
It's
a
outside the
wonderful
town.
location.
Is that something we can get forward or write up for us, a first right of refusal?
I guess, well, do you want to talk to Mr. Tim first?
Yeah, let
Let's
me do
just
the
talk.
And then
homework.
before we get forward, write it up.
Yeah.
You see,
Don't
to
spend
see if
the
he's
money.
amenable to it.
Yeah.
But I don't want to write it up if.
Yeah, if it's not going.
Makes sense.
But yes, four can do that, yes.
Okay.
And then do we want to have somebody, if Mr. Holland's playing ball, do we want to have somebody have a bid or come out and look at it and get a couple bids? Or is that something
For
For the repair.
Fixing?
Yeah, for fixing it?
yeah, you always should have bids.
We have to
for-
do that whether
Yeah.
we decide whether we're gonna purchase or not.
Okay. All right, moving on to the website.
Okay, website, I had to send Janine the code. There were several codes that had to be written, on the marketing side, and so I had to send her some codes that need to be embedded, but we're still hopefully on track for the third week. so-
Yoo-hoo.
November. or
Of
December?
November.
Cool.
Yeah. So,
Would it do any justice to, like, next meeting, pull it up on the board and show? Or
oh
is
yeah, it
is
should
it all
be.
behind the scenes?
We should be able to have it live by then. So what I'll be doing is sending y'all out the links to go in and look at it before we put it up live, because I
Okay.
want to make sure everything looks good.
Yeah, let us play with it for.
Because the other side is still there. It's unattractive as it is still there and it's still functioning. We're still getting a lot of traffic from it.
On our website for the club, the very home page, actually I think every single page, on the border on the left side, you can just hit a button and it'll email or share Facebook to whatever, Twitter, Instagram, the link for the, so what we do, like when I get a prospect, or I have like a member that wants to send it to their daughter or something so they can learn about the club, we get them on the website and then they just hit one button and then they send it to Susie Q. So on our website,
It's like a share button.
yeah, and it's like a little button and you can share it via regular Gmail or through
Yeah.
Facebook or whatever, and it's just so much easier because we do have a lot of tourists that are all different age groups, and it's almost idiot-proof for all of the different age groups. But Tim, at our next big council meeting, if we're happy with this, can we go ahead and have it up on the big screen? And we can show people in our audience, hey, this is the new website.
Would you want to, I think how we did that in December, but maybe we could do that in January. We
If-
have swearing in December, we
Yeah.
try normally not to have a lot of business.
I know, but it's a fun thing.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be fun if we put it up and it's brand new and it, yeah.
I'll plan a lot now, yes, January,
Okay.
January is a go, but there's some hard moving parts that night, so I would request.
Yeah,
that you
I think
consider
that
doing
is part of your TDA.
Because, you know, with as many people as we're getting in the audience, if they just all go and take a look
No,
at
I
it
think
and
it's great.
share it,
I think it's a great
you
idea.
know.
Yeah, it is, and we wanna get the word out about the website.
And actually, when it's ready, we can try to promote it and get the word out ahead of time, so maybe folks can start using it. But January, yes, I definitely
Okay.
would have an item on the agenda, I'll go ahead and tell Tamara, how would you want to call it? Kate, the cover sheet, what do you want to call that?
New improved,
Yeah, updated,
website?
updated TDA website, yeah,
Reveal.
yeah.
Yeah. Unveiling. The viewing.
And you're merging all of the,
We're trying to, I still haven't heard from the fire department yet, we're looking at trying to merge the town website, the rec website, and the police, and hopefully fire, because we've got 4 different websites, and it's really no sense to have 4 different websites. If each department has one, to have so many pages on that one website, it's a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I'm just waiting on the fire department now, and, he was out last week though, so that's probably why I ain't heard back.
well, that would be really good for us, because we use the app so much, and
I
the app
went to-
links.
And then there would just be the
I went to
TA
a third
website
party,
and
uh,
town. I guess the chamber has a
Warren
website too, though,
Fox.
so there'd be
It's
3.
really good.
Eventually, maybe it's.
Are you looking
The
for somebody?
resort has the most
Yeah.
popular.
Do you like
site.
ours?
Well, that's always
Ours?
what remains
Do you
separate.
like
The resort is
Okay.
separate. We have links.
But for the app to be able to link to you guys and link to your website and then get everybody's stuff would be really good.
Yeah, that's what we're working on.
So your suggestion was to make sure there was a share button?
Yes,
Share
thank
button,
you.
Yeah. I wrote it in.
The idiot share button.
Any other comments on the website?
Good job.
Not till we see it.
Getting excited.
All right, Old Man Winter. I'll go first.
Yeah.
I don't know where the communication lacked. I'm not happy where it's placed. I thought I made it crystal clear, and I thought I had some support. I didn't think putting it in front of 2 utility poles with a transformer box and in front of the banner, even though the banner's not up, was the correct spot. And I thought I made it clear. I'm not sure exactly what the issue is. I've heard a couple things why it's there, but I also do know we gave X amount of money to fix outlets. So that really, if that's the excuse, to me, it's not a very good excuse. And we gave money to get these things fixed, and it's
I thought it was gonna go more parallel with the road
My-
on the.
That's
my
what
thinking
we
of
all
it
did.
is
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
think
people
the
up
reason
here.
why it's where it is because of the electricity. And we
Okay,
we
well,
don't
so
have all of that
Let's
done.
back up one thing. Kate.
Sure.
On the electrical you give for panels, that's not, the electrical was not for that. That's down there for where Susie puts the Halloween stuff and all that. So the electrical, we didn't know do any extra electrical work at this location.
I thought it was for the entire, not the entire mountain. I know.
It was
Yeah,
for
Susie,
multiple
I just wanna make sure
projects.
I didn't want the board to think that all the electrical money went and spent.
Oh, yeah, not there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
But
around.
regardless,
We
here
can-
we are
we can talk
spending
about moving.
over, go ahead.
We looked at one, because actually after that meeting, I went out with Susie and we looked at different things to place it right there. The thing about if you put it in front, which we had really been talking about, you go by it so fast, you don't see it as much. So I don't know if you want to try to move it this year, or if Fred's not too upset, we can take down those wooden posts, but we were supposed to take down the bottom one anyway to make it a little bit more visible. But it does, one good thing about being there, you got steps to walk up to it to make pictures. And I have heard it looks good at night up here, but, so I don't know. Like I said,
I've seen it at night and it really looks good because it's cool and everything, but you do notice the posts. I mean,
Yeah.
it's not like
It's
one
not as
little
obvious,
post.
My thinking of it, after the meeting, just go stand in Fred's parking lot, and a lot of people go to Fred's, obviously. And as you're leaving,
It kind of looks like Fred.
when you're leaving his parking lot, there's a perfect spot to the right where there's 2 Fraser firs or Christmas trees that would work right there. Whether or not we can get it there this year, I'm not sure. But I was just disappointed with the communication. I don't know who or how.
I thought it was going down here.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
right
It should.
here.
Along,
Keep scrolling and you'll see where that's where
yeah,
I thought
along
it should
there is
go.
what we thought, kind of parallel with the road.
And
Because I
then
remember
a
the
lot of people
discussion.
will enjoy it. Now, one thing we gotta also realize is if we continue to buy these things, not every single one is a photo op. The
No.
Christmas ball is kind of like the,
Yeah,
The
because you go
photo op.
inside
but
it.
the rest of them, if they're not photo ops, it's okay. You know, it's not. Yeah, it's there to follow the theme throughout the whole mountain.
So
How much
is
to
the
move
TDA board, are they okay next year? Because we looked at the Fraser firs, and we could put said, if it's okay this year to move it next year, we may have to cut down 2 trees to make it work.
You're gonna have to
I
have
think, let's,
They are
let
town-
Tim
they are
and
town.
Jimmy go out there and figure out where the hell to put it. Does everybody
I-
feel like
I'm
it's
surprised
okay?
people aren't complaining
During the
about it.
day, it looks like hell, at night it looks better, but
It
we've
does.
also stepped on Fred's toes because that means he can't put any banners out there all winter.
I mean, yeah, I agree with that. I don't
He
think.
could, and it would cover up on that.
Well,
You know?
he won't.
I mean,
Right.
that-
He won't do
He
it.
said he doesn't usually put up a lot of winter banners, does he?
The banner
We
does-
don't
The
put it-
holiday-
Christmas
the holiday
trees and
market.
holiday
We don't put up
market.
as many during the wintertime because of the wind, but we
Yeah.
do put holiday market, you know.
Probably
We
something.
try to
easier.
advertise.
Where
Yeah.
Fred puts his banners, is that Fred's property or is that town property? Town property, yeah.
Oh, it's his sign, but town property.
Yeah,
Yes, see, the town just acquired it, so used to, you know, what's the Warren Wakeman, you know, he put it there. Y'all have to talk to Fred about this, taking that down, doing something different.
Hey, as far as I see it, it's doing the community good, putting information on.
Grandfathered
It's
in.
not Fred's general store with an arrow.
Yeah,
It's giving
right,
information.
right.
I don't wanna
It's
go
been
down that
his
road.
public announcement.
I don't wanna go down that road.
but we could put those on the fence.
We could put it on the
Put 'em on
fence,
the
I mean,
fence.
people see it
Yeah.
coming up.
For
Yeah.
sure.
It's gonna take an entire day at this point for Public Works to take this thing down. And we don't have another location with the electrical, with the free electrical.
No,
to
and like I
put.
said, I just wanna make sure this TDA will realize that's 2 separate issues. The electric money I'm talking about was to make, Susie's life easier and not have to run so many cords to different locations. It wasn't just send there's electrical.
I know. Well, I figured if it was like $200 to fix that little you know, I didn't.
It probably probably more like $1,200, but next year, if we wanted it in the center, we need to go there and like I said, we might need to look at it ahead of time, because I do think we'll have to cut down at least 2 trees to make it work.
There's gotta be a place where we don't have to cut down trees. Can we have, I trust Jimmy and Tim to go and find
Yeah.
a place,
Yeah.
and do we wanna do it this year? And be,
I think
Or do we
there's
wanna
other
wait?
pressing issues in
Okay.
town other than that. to be
everybody's
honest.
okay with
I'm
waiting
just-
this year?
I'm just
Yeah,
stating
and
the point. I'm
then next
frustrated.
year, if you find a better choice, and one of the things Bob Putney was talking about was putting it up at the beginning of town, you can then say part of the electrical money needs to put something up
Guess we should
there.
have made it
where-
clear.
where
That was my
Susie
fault.
has
Well, I think we need to
Thanks.
look at it, and like I said, you know, I still think the best location is down there across from Fred's. But, you know, coming uptown, I don't know, let's say where you put it at, coming into town, that would be good. But yeah, if y'all have to, Jimmy kind of work with me and directing us where to put it.
Yeah,
We'll get ready to
We'll
do it
coordinate
next
me
year.
and you, and we'll, yeah, and if we can't fix it this year, I certainly hope next year, who's sitting in the seat, y'all will be.
I wonder if Ski Beach would let us put it in that planter off to the side.
Ugly planter?
But it would only, it's one-sided.
Well, don't forget though, also, we got the Christmas ball, we wanna kinda
Inch
keep,
your way
yeah,
down.
inching our way, cause if we start scoffing around or.
Well, one thing to keep in mind, Mr. Chairman, sorry to interrupt.
Oh, no,
Next year, the streetscape will be done, so you'll have, I think,
More space.
7 light posts that can be decorated with wreaths.
Sure,
You can also maybe plan on putting something along that new path.
I like
That
that,
would be a good focal point for,
good idea.
just a suggestion.
Yeah, no, I like that, yeah.
Yeah,
for
that's true. There
So
may be
next
some
year's-
spectacular
So back
spots
single
we don't
one
even know
would be-
about.
There'll be some great spots down there with that.
Move Old
Yeah.
Man Winter down.
And how much are we paying for this?
This was over 10.
It
I know,
was
we-
13, was
we
it
shared with the
13?
town.
It was, I think the total bill was 13 something for the
Yeah.
Old Man Winter, and we're splitting it 6,000 apiece.
And then the remaining amount of money.
So when people
towards-
ask-
And then there's, I think the total amount, and then we have like 5, I have to check on the electrical. We're splitting the Old Man Winter, and we're splitting the electrical. work.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and I still feel that's fair.
Yeah.
Helping Susie, and that creates beautification to that whole
Just when
mountain, so-
somebody asks.
And where it goes, I think
Yeah.
coordinate with all the rest of the stuff that she works so hard on.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
And actually, if y'all could include Susie when you look
Yeah,
at,
yeah, yeah, I will.
you know, moving it, because I don't,
Yeah, yeah.
you know,
I don't plan on, I guess now, maybe not this year moving it, but
yeah,
certainly next year.
to
I
think
hope
of
we-
another
Yeah,
place.
yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to voice my frustration on that.
Okay.
So streetscape is happening and everything, and ETA on streetscape?
475 feet of streets here.
Free 475.
Uh,
Don't keep reminding me of
I was just
that.
out there in the cold weather the other day, Ryan and I were looking at the last location where it comes out. I don't think it'll be finished till, I don't know, it's hard to say.
I don't think we'll get the pavement put in until spring.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, no.
It's gotta be 40 degrees in climbing for any pavement.
To happen.
But everything else should be, hopefully, maybe done.
Well, I don't know about rock work either
Yeah.
on the light.
So spring, is ETA finished spring? I think the trail will be down before spring, but all the.
So people will be able to walk on it, and we just won't have any
It'll
lighting.
probably just be gravel, it'll just be the ADC.
It'll be safer than
stuff.
what it is
Yeah, it's a
now.
lot better than what it is.
Yeah, I think by probably, I hate to make a promise, but probably by June or so, it should be.
Walkable.
Well, it should be walkable before then, but it should be aesthetically pleasing.
Okay.
How many feet, how much distance?
I think it's 475.
No, 452,
452.
452.
Don't even ask.
And
You're
that
just
gets
gonna
us to
get
where?
crazy. To nowhere. It gets us to
You're
nowhere.
coming across the road there over where Fred's
Beyond
lower
Fred.
lot is,
Yeah,
and you come across the road and then
near Christie.
right there at Christie Way where the road.
That's it?
That's it.
Yeah. But you
Does
have
that
to,
include the distance across the road?
No,
That belongs to the state.
that's not calculated. And all jokes
That's another
aside,
16.
there has to be another phase over there. And I think eventually we're gonna have to talk to
And for
Fred
this, how
Barr,
much?
and to get to the overlook, I think we're gonna have to go behind the Alpine Inn to get to the overlook.
Only how many times have we all said that?
Yeah.
The original
But the
plan going in
DOT
front of
won't
all
cover
the
for
ends
that.
was a
That
great
goes under
plan.
old business. Real old business.
Very old
Okay, before we
business.
leave the lighting thing, and it's not a big deal, but, and I've got to tell my own maintenance guys about my yard, but I thought we kept everything turned off and turned it all on Wednesday night before Thanksgiving, was the original.
I think Susie leaves it up all the time, and then we turn it off for the Christmas tree, for the ornament lighting the day before, and then they turn it all back on.
Okay, all right.
We do turn it off at a point to have the big to-do,
Okay.
but it stays up, every year I've been up here, it's been up the whole time. I mean,
Okay.
Well, I can call her, I was planning for the Wednesday, so.
It's not a big deal.
Well, I just got a call from, or email from Marissa this morning asking about, can we turn it off, the Friday before, I guess, the Saturday lighting, and so it'll be all Friday, and then it'll be big ceremony Saturday, and hopefully we'll have a photographer there too and all that.
So
And
you
believe
would
it or
light your
not, we
lights.
had another person call us and was like, where are the Christmas lights? I'm like, we're putting them up.
Alright. Any other concerns or comments on Old Man Winter? Moving on to the Instagram workshop. I'm sorry I didn't attend. I was pretty sure planning that day. or something.
Anybody that wants me to send the actual
Presentation.
presentation, I can send it out to you. Do you want it? Yeah, okay.
It was good. The workshop was great. The speakers were wonderful. And the new person, he just bought Romantic Asheville.
Mhm.
So they really are in the thick of what we want to do. And then for them to come and offer us this knowledge was great. A little disappointed in turnout.
Mhm. I was a little disappointed for a particular reason, and that is that we're using a lot of influencers. They are all on Instagram, and they are linking to everybody that's available to link to. And when you don't participate on Instagram and somebody comes to your business and then they put up a bunch of stuff about you, but you're not on Instagram, you don't think they did anything for you. You don't see what they did, and you can't interact with their followers. We're
Which is the
bringing
whole
people
reason
here
why
that
we're
have,
bringing
like,
them here.
60, 100,000 followers, and then you don't interact because you don't have Instagram. So several people said specifically, no, I don't want to come to that workshop because I don't use Instagram. And I thought, well, then those of you who do use Instagram will get a lot
I
of
wonder-
attention from,
Miss
And-
Kate, I wonder if next time we get the opportunity, maybe do social media. workshop instead of just Instagram. And then it
Well,
goes
We've
to
done
short
one of
videos.
those.
We've done those, and we did
I mean,
Facebook, pretty much all of y'all are on Facebook. Pretty much everybody gets Facebook and is using it, and that is really good, because, you know, a lot of our people are using that as well. But we really wanted to promote that particular thing, but, yeah, you're right, we need to have some more workshops in general on how you market and how you, because all this stuff is free. You're doing a lot of
It's good
free
tools.
stuff, and
I think the thing that hurt us the most was people couldn't get away from work. And
Yeah.
I know I hate to have something early in the morning and I hate to have something late at night, but most of our people are 1 or 2 women or men departments.
yeah.
And maybe we're coming up against an obstacle that it's not a technical obstacle, it's a workforce obstacle.
And it is a double-edged sword, because we try to do it in the slow season, but a lot of people don't have their staff there.
Their staff's not there,
Yeah, in the slow season, so. And a few people are like running out real quick to take a break and not be around us for just a few weeks.
Maybe next time we try to do an evening one. I mean, just for a change and broaden the topic a little bit more. Because the speakers they were very good.
Well, the
Yeah.
social media, if you just, as long as that's what it pertains to, that won't be as intimidating. Like, say if Miss Cindy doesn't use Instagram, she's not gonna go because she doesn't even know, not picking on you, but you know what I mean?
I
You
don't
do-
use Instagram.
So, like, but if you say social media, you might be more inclined to go.
Well, it would be a broader category,
Yeah,
and I
exactly.
think a little bit more.
I mean, just,
You might feel
you
like
say,
I'll pick something
yeah,
to
I
wear.
might learn a little something,
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
If you're trying to
My
gain
take on
traction.
Instagram is that's kind of the youngest folks
For sure, yeah. I don't,
stuff, you know, we're talking the teenagers
It's
and that.
Not
Whereas
teenagers.
not.
Whereas Facebook is a little
That's-
bit more
that's
mature
like
crowd.
Snapchat, hit-year-olds with kids.
Is it owned by,
Facebook.
Facebook.
okay, and I was thinking what I was thinking.
And the
Yeah.
cool thing about Instagram now is it's basically turning itself into a different form of Facebook. You can actually do your sales, merch sales on it. They have all kinds of really cool video manipulation. It was really pretty cool. The other thing I think, when these speakers come in, you know, of course they know their topic and everything, but what I think would be beneficial and I would really want to attend is how do we on this mountain play off of each other's websites and play off of each other's Instagram and blogs, and you know, we're doing really well. Like, you send out that article, I put it to my blog, I put it to my Instagram and Facebook, but I don't think a lot of people know the value and how easy and quickly that can be done, which is unfortunate because it's, you know, blowing up, but it could be blowing up for everybody.
Yeah, that is true.
So it's almost like how to integrate your social marketing with the town's, you know, the TDAs or whatever. Does that make sense?
Is that something that we might want to consider early spring,
Yeah, we asked her
Rather
about
than
maybe
trying
coming
to
back
get
in
into it.
March.
going into Christmas,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't want to do anything
We'll
else
forget it
right now.
before we can get to it.
Yeah.
Maybe early March
busy.
would be good.
Instead of, you know, spring cleaning, it's spring social or something. you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, and it is like, I know Tim shares stuff and I
Well,
send him things. and
you
he
actually
puts
can
all
do
up.
it. I
Yeah,
mean, you
and
actually do it.
Mandy shares a lot. You get,
I share everything I find.
yeah, so it, I mean, that is the way to do it. You get a,
Mhm.
you
Well,
get
right
a
now,
credit
I
for
try
a
to use
post.
Facebook and Twitter a few times a week, sometimes not every day. But now, one thing in town, what we started doing too is, we'll put out like information, and then we're also now putting out advertisements too. We're taking the business list. and
Yeah, I've
everything.
seen that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really cool.
And so we put out information, 2 ads, information, an ad, you know, and try to break it up that way.
Yeah,
And I tried to do that on Twitter too, but Twitter and Facebook is really all we're using. We don't really use Instagram. I still have to learn about Instagram too because it doesn't
You
work.
should have come.
Yeah, I know, it doesn't work like
Well,
that,
because
but the thing about it is,
in that age
you
group.
basically have to have some, I mean, it takes time to do this stuff if you do it every while.
It does take time, and that was
And
one
I
of the
don't
things
use,
she
now, I don't
said.
Snapchat, but I don't use it.
The other thing I think would be really cool is to give all of the businesses here a list of all of the businesses here for people to follow. Because only some of us are following, like the ones we know we follow, but everybody should be following everybody up here.
I did that. with
And
the
that's
chamber.
gonna be the web that links
If
out
you
to
have a
everybody.
master Twitter list or master, we have to put that out periodically too.
I did that with the chamber.
Yeah.
I found everything I could find.
Can you share that with us?
Because it's on Facebook. It's not like I have it written down.
Yeah, because you still have to go through, you still have to, like, find each possible person to
I
follow.
know, but if we had a list of everybody, like
Well,
I'm
I have
following
it.
Poppy's because I knew Poppy's opened.
Well, the chamber has a list of all chamber members.
And I've got
And
the
actually, that would
Overlook
be
Barn.
good, yeah.
Well,
Maybe we just send out a thing that says, hey guys, we know
Follow.
everybody's working on your social media. Let's all help everybody out. Like all these people on our mountain.
Man, if you put that in Facebook, it's in a post, so you could go back and look at the chamber post and find it that.
But it's not in a post. It's,
Oh.
I went to search, I typed in a name, I found it, I liked it.
Oh, okay.
I followed it, so when they post something, then I can reshare it.
You like it as an individual.
Right,
Okay, I see what you're saying.
yes.
Maybe look into it all during a workshop or something.
I can put it together in a paper format, I just haven't.
So maybe the topic then that y'all are actually wanting is how to play off everybody else's social media. And have
Integrating,
Sarah come back and
yeah,
talk
integrating
about-
Facebook on our mountain.
It's almost like how to help your neighbor.
Yeah.
Share, like.
Helps
Yeah.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Help me, help you.
yes, exactly.
Alright, on to new business. Ms. Kate, if you'll.
Oh, okay, yeah, the tax collection process, we pretty much already covered that. Basically, the check comes in, it's got that paper attached to it, then the tax administrator records the gross receipts number and records the tax received number, and then the check gets recorded to go for a
So
deposit.
it's a pretty transparent process. Anyone, or you
It
know,
is, but it is, one person trying to do it, sitting up
Sure.
front at the
Answering
counter,
phones.
Yeah.
answering the
I
phones.
have a question about that.
Mhm.
Those of us who rent on Airbnb,
Mhm.
would it help to add a category of how much sales were done on Airbnb? Because they will be sending,
Keep
The-
their
the
tax
tax
money,
for
keep their
it.
tax money separate or as a line item, kind of.
I mean,
Well,
would that be beneficial at all? Would
I
that just
don't
create more
know.
chaos?
I don't know if it would be, if you could still parse out from that, because there's all these other Airbnb rentals up here that are not gonna be reflected in yours. I don't know.
No, how can that be? Because Airbnb collects
They
that
just send a
tax.
lump sum check. They-
Yeah, but they've collected on everything they've rented.
Mhm.
It's not
Yeah.
that an owner has got that Airbnb tax money out there in here. Whereas with VRBO, they do because VRBO.
But they
has
don't
it.
anymore, that changed, October the 1st.
Oh, really?
Yes,
They're
ma'am.
collecting taxes now?
Yes, ma'am,
Mhm,
remitting
they are.
it themselves.
VRBO?
Unless it was previously booked, it'll take a year to go through all of them. If they were previously booked, they don't cover it, but, yeah.
Oh, boy, okay.
So, and we did just,
Changing.
get
Changing,
information
changing.
from Emmett Wood, because Calder and Mandy had talked, and then Mandy came to me, and so we got Emmett Wood to do just a statement for us that you're okay to, as a company, to put your houses on VRBO. So,
And
That was-
Airbnb.
yeah, that you're not violating. any rules.
Except we still have the same problem. Airbnb subtracts their commission before they send the money to us, and by real estate commission guidelines, you can't do it.
I thought it was
I
allowed
just-
as long as you got it within 3 days.
No, the consumer has to put the money directly in the brokerage account, and then you can pay a commission.
Well, then how did he
The
approve it?
3-day rule applies to any money.
How did he just approve us to do that then?
He didn't approve it. He said you still have to obey commission guidelines. Commission guidelines are still, consumer money has to go directly to the broker's account, then you can pay back a commission.
So they're taking their
See,
advertising.
remember a few years ago when for years they wouldn't
Sure they
approve,
do.
paying travel agent commissions?
That's.
And the reason they held off on that so long was two reasons. One, they didn't have real estate licenses, which they finally got over that. But then there was the problem that they were deducting their commission before sending the funds. And so that dragged on for even more years.
So do we need to go back to Emmett and
Yeah, let's
say,
go back to Emmett.
what are the guidelines that need
Yeah.
to be obeyed?
I'll do that.
Because this started in 2015.
Trust me, I would like it, because they're eating our lunch. We need to get the real estate.
They started in
commission changed.
2015 working with the real estate commission to change those rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Didn't you
that's-
guys have a whole meeting on that? Wasn't that your
At the time, it hadn't
lunch
changed
and
that.
learn?
We did, but at the time, the rule was still in place,
Oh, okay.
so we didn't
Now,
address
you
it
can-
further.
Now, you can tell an owner that they can do that, Airbnb, and then send you money after they get it from Airbnb to manage their property. You can do that,
Mhm.
because that's coming from the owner, and the owner's doing what they want.
Mhm.
That's, the real estate commission doesn't have any control over them, somewhat.
Well, you guys are gonna work
And-
on that?
and the
Yeah.
other
Yeah,
thing
we'll work
is
on it.
technically, when we send out a contract, at the top, we have a little phrase that we have to include as part of the Vacation Rental Act. Technically, everybody who rents a property is supposed to have that.
Yeah, but you can add an agreement in Airbnb or VRBO.
But look at how many don't have that little box that you can check.
If they're not agents, it don't matter.
No, that's what North Carolina Vacation Rental Act, which applies to all rentals. North Carolina Vacation Rental Act is
And
about
I've had issues with that.
vacation
You just
rental
wonder how
property.
They can
It's
just rent
not
something
about
without any contract.
licensed agencies.
And then
Trust
their
me, I hope I'm
cancellation is
wrong
different
about
than
that,
our
but-
cancellation.
Yeah.
And we're going overseas.
All right, I was just asking for some more clarification.
There's a lot
We
of
might get him to come back and do it.
problems,
Maybe he needs
potentially.
The real estate commission needs to catch up with the current,
See, I think they have. I think it's changed.
Your real estate workshop was our best attended one.
Yeah, it was.
So we've got a
People
good
really
list.
needed it.
And plus, those people came and they really got some good information, so, you know, that's only gonna get better. So if this is a topic that you believe needs clarification on the mountain,
well, and I asked Emmett in an email, and I said, Emmett, do I need to send you a retainer fee to do further discovery on this? But I've not heard back from him on that.
Yeah. He's a good guy.
Trust me, I'm hoping they can let it fly and let it go, and let's do all that.
All right, well,
But if you'll send out this, did I copy you on my email to Emmett?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and he's really a nice guy. He will
He's a great
work
guy.
with us as much as we need him
He's
to.
Who is
very
Emmett?
He's an auditor for the North Carolina Real Estate Commission.
He's retired now, but he was the
He came and
chief
did a workshop
auditor
for
of the
us.
Real Estate Commission.
Great workshop.
My
Yeah.
company was his last audit.
Yeah. So you stuck in his mind.
Oh, yeah. Not for good.
Grand finale.
He really is a really helpful guy.
Yeah, very helpful guy.
All right, so,
So what do we do about tax collection process?
yeah, the tax collection process, I think, we will be having that meeting on Wednesday. And
We'll report back to you
we can have that
guys.
in the next meeting, because we do need to, we realized, Steve and I found a way to make a checks and balance on the one number, but we don't have any checks and balances on the other number. So, and, you know.
the
still-
$70,000 number?
Yes, and
Okay.
it's still just an issue of manpower. We just, we don't have.
Well, maybe you,
And beyond that, normally, this tax report should come from the tax collector. But I just get given a number to put in it and do this report myself. So it'd be much better if the tax report came from the tax administrator. And it was, just all double checked and verified. So,
All right.
all right, then,
On to the board composition, I'd like to add that to the next month's meeting.
Okay.
There's still a couple things I want to tackle before we touch upon that, if that's okay.
sure.
Do I need to make a motion for that? or-
No, you
Okay.
don't, none of this is,
Yeah, there's just a couple things we need to tackle before we touch that, and then I wanted to add legacy grants. That's fine. There's two things. Definitely want to continue for future boards. I want to stress upon making sure we fight for the little businesses up here to get those grants. It's important. It might not be a lot of money to the government or us, but it is a lot of money to the small businesses up here. So I hope boards that continue to serve up here think about that. So I'd like that to be in the minutes. And also, I hope we continue to do the retreats year after year, whoever's sitting up here. That's super important to all be on the same page. And then, halfway through or a year through it, make sure you're actually hitting your goals. During a meeting like we did this past year, Mandy went through our goals and see if we were actually achieving, or if we were just spinning our wheels, or if we were going backwards. So it's good. It's kind of like a checks and balances for the board. So those are two things that I really want to stress.
I have a question on the legacy grants, and it's kind of like come up because we're kind of in midstream and switching leadership. And Kate, maybe you're the kind of person that would tell us this. If we, like, say there's 5 grants that we've funded and we've identified as legacy grants. We know they're good, we know they're good for the community, and I think we named them legacy grants because we didn't want these people to have to go through the paperwork again, right? It was to ease this paper burden on the smaller businesses and whatever. However, if we have these things as legacy grants, and what happens if the board changes up here? Are they required to honor those legacy grants?
no, you're not, you cannot encumber a future
But
board.
if I'm a business and I've been told that I'm a legacy person and not to put in my
I
application.
guess she's asking, how can we protect them?
Mhm.
Or is there's really not?
You actually
So-
can't,
Okay.
Well, I just.
but I do think that most of them are no-brainers.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But we didn't want to call them the no-brainer grants.
One suggestion, Mr. Chairman, is
Yeah.
when you recommend people coming off and on the board, that this board kind of recommends to the town council, who kind of come on this board and kind of keep that knowledge in there. Because I don't think future board really want to make people mad on purpose.
Yeah.
Like he said, that's a great answer.
They might
can
not know.
stop all legacy grants, they can stop partial legacy
Yeah.
grants, because it allows them to change, and two, let's say if you have one of the legacy grants on there that didn't do anything for 3 years and got money for 3 years, you want them to come on.
Yeah. Great.
So you also have that flexibility, but main thing is keeping, institutional knowledge on the TDA.
Yes, sir. No, I agree with that. I agree with Tim.
So is it okay if we still keep calling them legacy grants?
Yeah, I think so. I
And we
think.
can review them yearly.
Yeah.
Too, still.
Because like Tim said, you don't want to 2, 3, 4, 5 years go
I
down
just
the
didn't
road.
want to mislead anybody to think that they're automatically going to get something, and then I didn't want to burden council members, or not council members, but board members, thinking that they're
Yeah.
going to have to, if we decide a whole bunch of stuff before the group changes, then that's
was
an
that
issue.
like $20,000 total for those grants or more?
It's a
Yeah.
little more, but it's like, for example, Fred's concerts, I think we help him out annually.
And the
Yeah.
fireworks,
Right.
right?
Music.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
So,
Fireworks.
Fireworks, there's.
Trail maintenance,
Yeah, trail maintenance, there's 4 or 5, yeah.
the Christmas lights.
But still, I just want
Flowers, fireworks, and Christmas lights were the
Biggie.
three.
Yeah.
The reason they became legacy grants
Sure,
is
those are been
we go
such
through
an
this
issue.
thing of, oh, the TDA is gonna fund, no, the town's gonna fund. Then we went back and forth, and we finally said, okay,
That was
we've
with
arrived at
fireworks.
this thing, where those will
And
always
the
take care of.
first year I came 7 years ago to do the chamber, I was told, oh, the chamber is supposed to pay for the fireworks, and I'm going, huh? Okay.
How's that work?
Right, so we
So
got
anyway, that ball
the
got
summer
passed
Yeah.
concerts,
around.
the
That's how the legacy
fireworks, the
started.
Because
Christmas
nobody
lights.
wanted to pay for the fireworks.
It's for years we had those three.
Yeah.
I'd probably go back and look,
Landscaping.
but, yeah. But like, I know one year my dad got a grant for like a movie projector, so then you have like the seasonal,
Yeah.
whatever you call those.
But
All right.
that's not a repetitive,
But that's
that's one
not-
of those
yeah.
you
That's
apply
just
for.
a one
Yeah,
business.
yeah, exactly.
All
No,
right.
he's got 17 movie projectors.
So everybody feels okay calling it, still calling it legacy grant
think
and
so.
everything, okay.
Yeah,
But I
and
just
maybe,
didn't-
maybe what's in it changes from year to year, guys. Maybe it's just the
Yeah.
ones you pick up beforehand and say, these guys don't need to make application, let's just call them and tell them.
Okay, that would be better.
I don't want legacy to be confused with, I mean, there's more than just
Yeah.
legacy. There,
Yeah.
the TDA is here to help promote the tourism on this mountain, and if the business has a good idea, they can feel comfortable applying for the grant. I just,
And that's separate department, okay, so the yearly ones that people can apply for is basically a total of 20 grand or something like that,
I think it's
25.
24 or
I don't know,
25.
in this quarter
24,
number.
25.
Yeah.
It's been different every year.
Yeah,
It has
I
been
don't know,
different
quote.
every year.
In the
Some-
20s.
Something in that
Yeah.
neighborhood, so
Sure.
trying to refresh me.
Yes, ma'am. But those are the two things I want.
So have those applications gone out, or when will that, we just,
March, they're going
Yeah.
in March.
We can hold our
For
breath on
next-
those.
Yeah.
fiscal year?
And Kate, you didn't have any problems with the application this year, or getting them in or anything?
No, they
Okay.
were fine. They were fine. It was much smoother, because we did take a chunk of them out
Mhm.
that way, so.
And now to move on to the marketing and TDA report.
You'll see a couple of things I just want to point out on your report from Pineapple. Under October publicity, you had an editorial value of $618,595. That is really excellent, and you can see under media relations that they are marketing us to places like the Travel Channel, Family Circle, Budget Travel, the Food and Travel Writers, places that we had not been marketed to before. And
So-
that's what's making the difference. You know, we're finding a new audience.
So dollar amount for the whole year, what we pay for Pineapple?
We will end up paying, in an entire year, we'll pay about 60,000 on their fees, but we'll spend about 131 on their fees, plus what we want to market, like the digital campaigns they do, and the fam tours and
So
ad
basically,
buys that they want us to
60 for
become.
them and 70-ish for.
Yeah, yeah.
So basically
Profit.
60,000 of employee work
Work time, yeah.
time, and we're looking at gaining 618,000 in 1 month.
Yeah.
So I think
I
that
think
ratio
we're
is pretty
getting-
damn good.
You're definitely getting value for your money here.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the proof is the number of people that are out on the mountain, which is pretty phenomenal. So they are drafting some new pitches. We always have the leaf looking and, come do winter with us, but they are doing some new things. Of course, we talked to them about the bird watching, and we talked to them about fishing, but we also talked about general wellness, health and wellness, being outdoors, and they're doing some pitches on that, in that area as well. They did have some really good response from their fam tour. We had the big tour, and we've already gotten some articles out. I put a few of them in my report, it's the last 2 pages. I put links to a few of those, but we got some really good press. Jeff Berganier was Boom Magazine, he was actually last year. His article was wonderful. We had a great person from our media tour in January besides him who did a snowy North Carolina town article about affordable winter sports. We had a really cool piece, and this was not Pineapple, but this was Sean Barrett from Land of Oz, who got the Today Show,
Oh, yeah.
and that was an excellent piece. It was great for
We-
Beach Mountain.
Put that on our blog and it went.
Yeah. And Jana did a fantastic job. She was really, really
Y'all
good
should
on
have seen
that.
the morning of that. It was
Yeah.
like a hurricane, and then all of a sudden God like made it beautiful.
Yes.
It's like, ooh.
Well, it is a beautiful place. It
Yeah.
is a beautiful place. So that was really good. But then we had an excellent, and Cindy, I think you sent me something from somebody saying, why don't we ever get any coverage on
On
Susie?
Susie,
There's
yep.
an excellent piece on Susie's work,
Oh, that's
where what they did was go take all the pictures of all of her scarecrows
perfect.
and then do an article on that. And then, of course, we had on the Travel 100, they did rentals, they did the accommodations part, and then they did a part on restaurants, which was really, really nice. So it's nice when we get, of course, coverage for the resort, but when we get coverage for all the other things up here too, like hiking and biking and,
Sure.
you know, Oz, the Overlook Barn, the other businesses on the mountain. It's really helpful. Okay, and then we, of course, we had several media guests this last month. We just hosted the public relations liaisons with Pineapple, and they got to go to quite a few places and have a good time on the mountain. Cindy put them up. Those 2 young ladies, and they had a really good time. They enjoyed Beach Mountain very much, and they're kind of city girls. They enjoyed their time.
They survived, huh?
Yeah, they
I
survived.
should have sent the poodles over.
They really did enjoy themselves, and they were very appreciative. They loved where they got to stay, and they loved when they got to eat and everything.
Thanks
they
for
got to
doing
eat.
that, Cindy.
Yeah, it was
Excellent.
really helpful. Okay, and then our numbers for October are up as far as visitors in the visitor center. Our occupancy tax is up, and except for people that are coming just to go to Woolly Worm, we had a huge number of people coming who were going to go hiking and look at leaves. Not that that was a surprise. On the back of your report, there's well, I guess maybe it's the second page for y'all. It is just a pie chart reminding you that November, April, and May are our least popular months. Not that nobody is surprised by this, I know. And that we are heading into January, December, February, and I say them in that order because that's number 1, 2, 3. And those are gonna be really, will
Good.
be slammed.
You got enough toilet
You
paper?
think
Yeah, I got enough toilet paper. Actually, I've got it in order right now.
July is less than December?
July is less than
Yes.
December.
I'm
It
shocked
sure
about
is.
that.
Yeah,
It's because of the pricing.
yeah.
Well,
And
and
see,
some
that
of them
is-
aren't paying taxes either, because they're staying longer, we figured that out.
Yeah, the summer people that come and stay over 89 days fall into another category.
Yeah.
So we don't get
Those
any-
are our dirty dancing
Can we
families.
have y'all evict people?
Right, 87 days, right?
Anyway, and I am working on quite a few things. We've got a 2-page feature coming up in our state, I think in January. Then Retro 80s was actually nominated and won a top 10 winter event, the Southeast Tourism Society. Just a number 10
Wow.
top event.
That's great.
I'm working on the cars for Retro 80s. We've
Yeah.
got one car, I think, lined up. We've got the DeLorean. We're working on
Same
the Ecto
gentleman.
1.
I meant to ask.
Yes, same
Same
guy.
gentleman.
Mhm.
Is
And
that the
then
one
we've
that
got the
didn't show up
band
for 2
for
hours?
the 80s prom night, which will be on Thursday at Frazier's, the Thursday of Retro 80s weekend. So we gotta make Retro 80s good, because now we've got this award,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
I'm working on 2 new segments for Beach TV on both 90 seconds. One will feature throwback and the other one is just gonna feature the town, and I'll just do a voiceover and put some music to it. Then I've got, Sally Woodring, I think, is gonna be coming and doing our photography on the 30th. She did it last year, she did a great job. She charged $15 for 2 poses,
How
and
many
people got their Christmas
families
cards.
got, how many pictures
We
did they
actually
take?
did 12, but 10 of them were 10 different families.
Okay.
So, then I'm working on the fireworks. Zambelli will not be doing our fireworks this coming year.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, and I asked them
Ruh-roh.
the day after fireworks of last year, but they have a lot of
When is
long-term
4th of
plans.
July? Is it on stupid Saturday?
It's on the 4th of July.
Dang.
You're okay.
Darn
Imagine
it,
that.
yeah. So, that is the glitch, and they cannot take us, they cannot guarantee us, because they have to assign all the crews they've got to their biggest clients first, and we were one of their newest. So-
Wow.
So instead of just fireworks, we'll have dawn fireworks so they can visit.
You know, so it could be July 5th, yeah. That's a very good idea. But we are looking at a local company to see what they can do for us. My concern is they only use 3-inch shells, and we've been using 4 and 5-inch.
And there's a
But,
difference. There
Talia
is.
tells me that her shows have been very well received, and she's been using this company, so.
Has she been using the smaller shells?
No, she's been using the 3-inch shells, yeah,
Wow.
so.
Okay. We
So
did
I'm-
that in a town one time, and we heard just nonstop complaints that you really could, I mean, I probably couldn't have told the difference, but the fireworks people.
I would,
Yeah.
with this for the 4th, so I'd be careful, because we're just now making the pig roast a winner again. You don't wanna disappoint people with,
And it's the 49ers.
yeah.
But we
so-
don't have, if we can't get a big company, we
Fireworks.
don't have a choice. We'll either have no fireworks
So
or
what is
we'll
it?
have,
The price for or they're not licensed to do bigger shells?
I don't know that yet. I don't
Yeah.
know. We haven't gotten into that conversation. I just reached out to him.
I'd just be careful, because we're finally making the pig roast successful again, I feel like.
Yeah, I think the pig roast it is successful, and a lot of people come there for the fireworks,
Yeah,
not
exactly.
Oh,
the
yeah.
barbecue, so.
Oh, yeah. I would say at least half of the people
Yeah.
that go to it don't get the barbecue. Wouldn't you say? About half?
Yeah. Much
Well,
to our
fireworks
disappointment.
certainly
Yeah.
helps bring them in.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we just gotta keep trying. So,
Last thing we'll do is board comments, and we'll start with Calder. Do you have any comments? Go ahead.
Good.
All good?
Good. Check. 2 thumbs up. 2 thumbs up.
Sandy?
Kate, is there anything you need any help with, facility-wise, program-wise, volunteer-wise?
I think we're okay right now. I will need help in all of those things. Yeah, so,
Okay. You're gonna reach out to us, what, at the next meeting, or? Okay.
well, I will be in a meeting with you next week, and we may want to go back and look back through records. So
Okay.
that we can maybe re-add some things. It's paperwork. It's time consuming.
I might have 2 volunteers for you.
Aha!
Okay, I'm done.
Miss Cindy?
No, I'm still learning, and I've gotten answers to my questions today, so I'm good. But if you need me for anything, what little bit I can help,
I appreciate
Certainly.
you. Y'all are actually a great team. I have never called on any of y'all that you didn't help me. I appreciate it.
I didn't know we had a choice.
Excuse me, you don't.
I don't think we do.
It's written into the contract.
I would say this, and I'll go back to my beginning, my very first meeting, when y'all started this grant stuff, and there had been a good bit of upheaval from, I guess, from the dearly deceased.
Oh,
Did
if
y'all see
only.
the obituary?
Yeah.
Yes.
Anyhow,
Oh.
about,
Yeah, I get
Okay,
it.
some people really thought they were deceased.
I
They
did.
were all joyful.
I
thought
hear
the
there's,
next meeting,
I
how
hear there's
awkward is
another
this gonna
one
be?
coming, so anyhow,
Oh,
let's
yay.
see what, trump up. Anyhow, the grants, I know a lot of people backed off that were business people that, as I stated again, serve and volunteer their time here, and I don't think that should exempt anyone from, you know, put in for your business if.
I 100% agree with you, Cindy. I thought that that was unfair, that they backed off, that they shouldn't have had to.
No, and I don't wanna see that happen again, because then it makes you look like you're guilty,
Yeah,
you know?
for sure.
So,
I think for a time period, this board was in a no-win situation. There was nothing they
No, it
could
was
do right.
hostile.
It was a hostile environment, and there was nothing that they could do, so. But I absolutely, I have no say in this, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Cindy is absolutely right. Anybody on this mountain should be able to apply.
well, sure, it's all businesses, and they've all generated that money. The fact that you served and volunteer on this board shouldn't exempt you.
Yeah, thanks for your insight.
Except for you, you're already wealthy and we don't need you.
Perception.
Well, but I think maybe we should, you know, all the grantees that are pitching in need to know, though, I think we need to be transparent that members of this group have put in.
Sure.
Oh, sure.
Sure.
And they've generated it.
Yeah. That's true.
So, anyhow, that's my
No, thanks, Cindy.
10 cents.
Miss Manny.
I'm good.
And I
Barry,
did
thanks for
not
coming.
write down my comment because I'm not allowed to speak, so.
All right,
Nothing, Barry?
No, I was just thanking him for coming.
Oh, you're not allowed to talk, so.
You were making a lot of noise.
Yeah, I know.
No, I just want to say thanks. And if we look where we were last year at this time and where we are this year, I think we got a lot of momentum and good mojo. So I hope we can, whoever is on this board continues that. And thank you guys for letting me serve with you. You guys taught me quite a bit. And as Cindy says, I'm still learning too. So I just want to thank you. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Jenny.
Yeah.
Do
You've
we
been
know
wonderful.
if you absolutely cannot serve on this board?
No, but I'll talk about it next month, but if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it 100%, so I'm not gonna be on here and
Well,
not,
As long as you're in the audience.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'll try my absolute best to come as much, but, I made a decision to do something 100%, so I'm gonna do it 100%. And, but after I'm done with that, I'd certainly come back. I love this, To answer your question.
It's a lot more fun than water and sewer and roads, I can tell you.
Or trees, or pretty much any of the other ones. Hey, let me tell you about planning.
Sorry about that,
That one was real
Riley.
fun too.
I know you think water and sewer and roads are great fun.
All right, do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I'll make the motion.
Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Good meeting, guys.
All right, thank you.
Okay, now, we want to tell them about this.
It's just to talk with the STR company, and look at their product.
That is
Why we
my,
are interested in or not